Smithsonian Anacostia Community Museum presents the following audio interview with Kihei De Silva. Turn the Hands Down. The interview takes place in Kailua, where Kihei De Silva is with Halau Mohala Ilima. The audio interview is overlaid with photographs illustrating the landscape and events described by Kihei De Silva.
He has contacts all over with other voyaging people who are teachers in various schools. Everybody wants to bring their kids to Ulupo to work with Uncle Kaleo, and he will put you in the lo'i, and he will get you completely covered in mud, and he will teach you a little ceremony, he will feed you a little food, he will get you dirty in planting, and he will take you out and clean you off, and he will speak to you not in a lecturing, but in an actual turn the hands down kind of way about the significance of this place and about the potential significance, the significance for other places around here. So he just gave us a report before he left. Since September through February, he has hosted more than 900 students here. Elementary, intermediate, high school, and college, in various ways, but all in service learning projects. What he'll usually do is bring the group down here, and he will have them introduce themselves, who they are, where they are from, how they belong to Ulupo, to the Heiau. Who do you bring with you when you come here? Why are you here? Then he feeds them, sometimes ko, which is sugarcane, but ko also means to fulfill a desire. And so when they're done with all of their work, he sits them down and he said, okay, what was the ko of your experience? What was your desire fulfilled? And they all have to say what they expected and what they got out of the place. And they leave telling their teachers, why can't we come back more often? And they are coming back more often because the teachers themselves agree that this is not a field trip. You don't come on a bus and get off the bus and then somebody talks to you and you're not really listening, and then you get to run around and then you get back on the bus and go. So for some schools, field trips are not, this would be considered a field trip. And the bureaucracy behind the field trip is huge, so that some teachers are only allowed, I forget what, one a year. And the Kaleo will tell you that, one visit is good, but you need to ideally you need to bring a class in. He has a class from Waimanalo that is doing this now. They come in and they cleared a lo'i completely, weeded it, trampled it down. Then they came in and they planted. Then they came in and they weeded. They're going to come in and they're going to harvest. Then they're going to come in and they're going to learn what to do with the taro that they harvested so that they can actually eat that taro. That's what we would like to do, but it's difficult working with a school system where you might be allowed one field trip a year. Kailua Intermediate School has just begun to kind of change their thinking, and they did a 6-week program where every Friday for those 6 weeks they brought kids to various cultural sites in Kailua, and Kaleo had them twice down there and over here. 125 students became very significant, and hopefully that school will develop that sort of pilot program into a regular visit, work, and understand program. I think once those things are happening in the community, once the kids come, Kaleo was gone. One of our helpers took, and the vice principal of Kalaheo High School, who was one of our dancers, it all has to connect up, brought 100 and some odd seniors from Kalaheo High School here for their senior class. Those kids came and worked a whole day, and we had cut a tree back there, a mango tree that was making a mess, and the roots were uprooting, were disrupting the structure of of Ulupo, and they carried everything log by log back over there to a chipper, and then they got in and they weeded. But at the end of the day, the vice principal told us, why is it that we only can come once a year? And why is it that the community, the neighborhood board is so opposed to what is going on here? Why can't we take care of this place? Over the, what is it now, almost 40 years, 39 I think, that we've been active in Hula and been compiling this archive of chants and stories. We need a place to teach this stuff that is not on the second floor of the surf shop or the Portuguese bakery or, the YWCA in Kaneohe. We need a place where we can archive these materials, have a library, where we can have a classroom, where we can teach these things to people, bring in, right now you have 900 kids coming here. It would be wonderful to have those kids also go to a learning center that specializes in the literature of our people. The stories belong to Kailua. That's right at the kind of one of the most important storytelling, chanting, dancing spots in all Kailua. If we had a hula platform, a hula mound there for performance, if we had native plants there that were specific to the hula, not to food, but the lay plants, then we could be teaching literature, we could be teaching stories, we could be teaching the dances that go with those stories, we could be teaching how do you make the appropriate lei to wear while you are dancing these dances. Then you have our kapa maker, and she can teach you how you actually make a traditional skirt out of traditional materials. And we can have our master carver teach how to do the instrument making. We can have we have a lot of ideas, but you can't do that on the grass when it's not raining and it's daytime and it's not too hot. You need to have a place. What's interesting is that in traditional times, that place that I told you, Pamoa, was a huge house of learning. And it gathered all of the best artisans, the best poets, the best storytellers, the best genealogists in Kailua and throughout the islands, in fact, to convene there, to share and teach. So the idea, and it was right there, my research says it's right there near the edge of what is now the marsh. So for us to restore that is completely consistent with tradition. What we're so lucky here is that we do have experts still alive who know. What's scary is that those experts do not have places that are really conducive to their sharing what they know. And they can't be responsible for organizing students and classes and facilities and so on. What we would like to do is provide places and students for them, so that our master weaver, actually she just died, so there's a perfect example of how critical it is right now. Probably the best weaver in all of our islands passed away just a while ago, and we were very close to her. And we were promising her that we would have a place for you, Auntie. Just hang on, and we will have a place for you to teach. And to teach, not just bring her in and rent a room. And, Lauhala Weaver, a master, just absolute master of it. And, what can you do in a limited facility in a limited time except make a bookmark or a napkin ring? And she's the maker of these round Lauhala mats called kona mats that only she really knows how to do. And she taught my wife Mapuana how. So Mapuana knows how, but she doesn't have the hand skills, right? But we're hoping, okay, we can get apprentices to work with these masters, apprentices who are already well advanced, right? but who do not have that constant connection with the older masters. And we're thinking, how do we create a kind of graduate school of education in our culture for the chanters, for the dancers, for the poets, for the artisans, for the carers of the food? How do we manage to, like you were saying, how do you bring the 80-year-old lady in with the grant writer or the grant giver from a big foundation? How do you find a place for all these people to meet and talk?